everybody. Welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, the Flippin Hippo, and tonight on episode 8 of Hangin with the Hippos, I have a very special guest. Someone I've had on the channel before. I've been on his channel. I love watching his videos. He is a fellow nerd, so that probably explains why I love his videos so much and talking with him. But I will let him say hi to you guys.
Hey everyone, it's Dominic. How are you doing? For those of you who don't know, I go by the name The Primetime Treasure Hunter. That's the name of my YouTube channel. I do a lot of, obviously, reselling. I specialize in comic books and, as Star said, nerdy things, but also pretty much anything vintage and collectible. But I even do clothes as well. So I'm scattered and diversified all over the place and do a lot with social media as well.
Yeah, he's very, very active on Instagram. He has a really great Facebook group that has grown leaps and bounds. What was your last total count of members?
We just crossed 10,000 members in 18 months. It's insane.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah.
The links to his Instagram and his Facebook group are in the description box down below, as well as his YouTube channel. So after the show, make sure that you follow and subscribe to him everywhere. He is a wealth of information, as you're going to see while I interview him. And the group is great. You have like 10,000 people and my group has like 700 and we're still all positive and happy. And
Right.
usually when groups get big, you start to get the negative bullies. You don't have those in there.
Nope, absolutely not. That's by design. I have basically carefully constructed it so that the people who are at the foundation of it were people who would role model good behaviors for anyone else coming in subsequent to it. And occasionally, once in a while, you need to remind people if something goes astray here and there. But at its basic core, it continues to be a core group of people who want to be supportive and friendly and helpful to others. And plus, I do a lot of things to kind of reinforce that in the group with a lot of seller support activities for people. So, people know that, hey, if I'm going to come in here and be a troll and I'm going to cause problems, I'm going to get kicked out and then I'm not going to get picked to be someone featured on one of these seller events. And so it just doesn't make sense for people to, exert a negative influence in the group. And by and large, that's been a successful formula.
I think a lot of it, too, is your personality in your videos. Not that other YouTubers aren't positive. I'm just going to use you and me as an example. But both of us are very transparent. We're very honest. We're very kind. We're very positive. And, you attract the same kind of people to you that you put out into the world. So I think the people that join your group and join mine are there because they like how positive and happy we are, how we always find the silver lining. We're not attracting, except for Jamie, the troll over there in the chat. Jamie's the resident troll no matter what group he's in.
Yeah.
Hi, Jamie. And he's a mod. You go figure.
Yeah, no, I know him from Casey's group.
Yeah, he's actually a really good friend of ours. We're going to be hanging out with him at eBay Open in Vegas.
Yeah. But Star, at the same time, I think we're also real. Like if we have things going on that's frustrating us, we let people know about that. We were just talking offline about the frustrations we're having with, or at least I was having, you had a minor degree of it, with Google Hangouts and, messing up my live shows. And I was beyond frustrated. I mean, I was angry. And, I was honest with letting people know just the frustrations. I mean, I spent hours and hours and hours trying to resolve that. And in the meantime, I'm not getting any listings done. I'm packing things late. It was very stressful. So, I just let people know the reality of what was going on behind the scenes. And I think people appreciate that when you let them know, what's really going on.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I had to cancel my live show, my normal one, Sunday night for a migraine headache. And I just told everyone on social media and in Facebook that was, I'm fighting off a migraine and I can't do it.
Yeah.
I need a dark room. So, I tell people about my health struggles. I'm disabled and have a bad back. I disclose all of that. I show people when we only sell one thing a day. I just try to be real because I feel like some people come into this expecting more, expecting to get rich quick because of some other YouTube channels. So I try to show them the reality of it. Yes, you can do this while you're disabled, but it's hard work. It's frustrating at times. and there are definitely as many downs, if not more, than there are ups.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's good though, you know, because you're a lot of people watching you, they're also going through downs. And so if they could, you know, see, you know, someone out there who's, you know, role modeling how to handle situations, it could be an inspiration to people. And it's also been very interesting to me how supportive people who are fans and supporters of your, you know, of your channels are. Because if you let them know, for example, Star, oh, I've got a migraine headache, or oh, I couldn't get a video done last night because of such and such happened. People are like, you know, hey, listen, it's okay. We understand. You know, your health is important, and you know, I've been continuously impressed by that with people.
Oh, absolutely. And I've canceled shows for family. You know, even not just emergencies, just good. Like I have family plans. And I always say family comes first. And a lot of my, you know, supporters say, yeah, absolutely. Always put your family before your YouTube, right?
Oh, absolutely. I do the same. You know, I have, as you know, I have two kids. My son just turned 14. My daughter's 15, and you know, married. And I've always got to find time to work in to do things with them. And so, you know, last night, me and my son went out to do some metal detecting. Came home today, took, you know, my daughter and my dog, you know, we went out for like a walk around the neighborhood and stuff and talked and catch up on things. And even if it's just like a 20-minute thing on a busy weekday, those types of things are important to make sure you squeeze them in and not just pouring in 100% to the reselling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was, I'm going to add one more thing and we'll get into your questions. But I think when I had Kelly on, she was the one that you get 5 questions at the end. She asked me how Keith and I balance everything out, working together and being a couple. First of all, we're best friends before we were anything else. But I think the magic to us, and when the kids are with us, we share custody with their dad. The magic is the dinner table. And I really, really am a big proponent of the family dinner table. Every night, everyone comes to the table. We sit, we talk, we eat. And if it takes an hour for everyone to have the conversations they want to have and pick at their food, you know, the scraps on the plate at minute 45. But I think that's a lot of the magic in our family is I insist no tech at the table and we have family dinner every night.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to come home, you know, more on a normal time. Been making a real effort to do that so that I could get home in time for, like you said, that family dinner. And ever since I got back from Chicago a few weeks ago, I've been able to do that. I've changed my schedule around. And, you know, you're right. It means a lot to me to be able to sit down with everyone and eat rather than coming home and eating leftovers after everyone else has eaten. It is important. And if you can't do it during the weekdays just because of a crazy schedule, at least try and have like one day, like a Sunday or a Saturday, or preferably both, where you're doing it.
Well, in fact, there was a point in my life when I was working so much, and their dad was on an opposite schedule before we divorced. The only time we ever had was Sunday mornings. That everyone could be there. The boys were both in soccer, and so we did Sunday morning breakfast, and that was our once. But I think it is important, like you said, at least once a week, sit at the table, no phones, no tech, and just talk to each other. Whether you're talking about what's going on in your lives or what you felt about the last Marvel movie, but it's important to communicate with your kids and with your spouse or your significant other. Right. And I think people feel a real sense of community around food, and they tend to open up and communicate more.
It's totally true. I mean, food, a big cultural thing, especially me. I know I don't look it, but my name sounds it. I am half Italian, and that whole thing with the food and eating around the table is a huge, huge thing in Italian culture. And so I've, you know, carried that on, having some music as well in the background. I love all that stuff. So yeah, I'm big on that too.
All right, so we, everybody in the chat, I see you guys there. Hello to all of you. I see my mods, Sydney and Jamie, are here. Thanks, guys, for coming in and helping moderate the chat. Although I don't, you know, it's all positive people over there too. Those of you that came in with Dominic, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you're new here, I am Star. I am one half of 2 people. Keith does not get on camera, but he is my partner in crime. He does write some content for the channel and gives me ideas. He's behind the scenes.
Has he ever been on camera?
He did one
with Casey, right? Casey, who was in the background at a meetup or something.
He did some photos in Vegas and Florida that he made Casey hide. But he did a video about not having an end. Oh, that's probably a spoiler. There's no end scene in Endgame, and if you don't know that by now, he did a 2-minute video. It's on our channel.
Yeah.
But he does a podcast with Casey, but he just won't do cameras.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing we have in common. Both of our spouses don't want to be on video. So Mrs. Primetime, now she has been on video in like bits and pieces, and one day someone's going to assemble her like a puzzle. Like once in a while you see a hand, a finger, a knee, a shoulder, hair, you know, but never the whole thing has never been put together. So
yeah, you guys sometimes will see Keith walk back and forth behind me, but he keeps his face away like this. Right. I have photos of him with me, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a nice photo of us together, and he's like,
yeah. Yeah.
Some people just don't like the camera, but he does do a podcast with Casey. So whatever he feels about his face, he doesn't feel about his voice, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works, right?
All right. So for those of you that may be new to the channel, maybe you followed Dominic over from his channel, or you just joined recently. This series called Hanging with the Hippos is plural because I'm a hippo, Henry's a hippo, and Hannah's a hippo. But Keith participates silently. He does give me bonus questions in his own handwriting for the guests that he picks out for you about 5 minutes before I go live. The way this series goes, it goes in 4 rounds, 5 if you count the very end where we open up the floor to you. So what I'm going to do is ask you guys, if you have questions for us, please hold those to the end, and then we will open up the floor, and you can ask us anything at all, and we'll get to as many of you as we can. In the meantime, you can participate along with the other rounds in the chat. I'm going to ask Dominic 10 serious questions about reselling and running a business. Then I'm going to ask him 10 fun and goofy trivia questions. Then I'm going to ask him 10 ridiculous off-the-wall this or that. And then he gets to ask me any 5 questions he wants to ask. And then we open up the floor to you guys. Time depending, we'll get to you as we can, as many of you as we can.
All right, I'm going to have to answer these pretty fast, huh?
All right, so the first one I always ask everyone is just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been reselling, how you got started, and whether or not you're full-time.
The nuts and bolts of it is that I have been technically reselling since I was a teenager, when I started reselling some of my comic books at an outdoor flea market at the Englishtown auction in New Jersey. I had a blast doing that. And then I started doing what we would more traditionally consider reselling a few years after eBay came out. So this was in 2000. I was going to outdoor flea market called the Swap Shop in South Florida when I was in graduate school. And I did that every weekend with my wife. We went down, we picked things, we put things online on eBay and sold it. And it was only an auction site back then. And some days we made a huge, amazing sale. And other times we fell flat on our face. But that was one of the things that helped us learn and develop a good eye. And did that for years. Then just developed my professional career. For those who don't know, I work full-time as a board-certified neuropsychologist. And so that's how I spend my days from, basically, if you consider when I have to wake up, it's like 6:30 to 5 o'clock is basically what I'm doing. And then when I come back, it's like my alter ego. I turn into the primetime treasure hunter. I do this reselling stuff in addition to fitting in all the other family things. So I started more active with my current reselling business a few years ago after I was trying to rebuild my comic book collection and just, realize how much money I can make flipping some comic books, and then getting back into my old eBay days, and just everything just kind of took off from there.
I like that you said you have an alter ego.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah, and Brandon thought this was going to be super long in terms of my answer to that, but I tried to be as concise as possible. I did all right.
What platforms do you sell on? And if it's more than one, which is your favorite and which is your least?
I am pretty much almost exclusively eBay, unless you want to count once in a while. I will sometimes put some things on local marketplace app. Like, for example, I just recently did a video where I went out to a garage sale, and the wives were getting rid of stuff from their quote-unquote hoarder husbands, and one of the hoarder husbands worked at a golf course. And so they had these stacks of basically like 10 golf clubs, and they were nice. They were like vintage wooden golf clubs for $2 for each set. So I wound up getting 50 golf clubs for $10, and they have like a little rust speckling on it, but it easily will kind of come off with with like a little piece of wool. And I'm gonna flip that locally, so I'll do that once in a while. So that would be like OfferUp, Let Go, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, that kind of thing. But I'm pretty much exclusively eBay at this point.
Okay, so which item or category do you sell the most of?
I would say it's got to be comic books. I mean, that's my identity, and there will never be a point on my channel where I won't have comic books. There might be a point where you don't see shirts or you don't see DVDs or something, but there will always be, I've made that a point. There will always be something comic book related. And so that would be number one. Now, if you want to broaden it out a little bit more and put comic books under this umbrella, I would say anything that's vintage paper. So that could include postcards, that can include old magazines, that can include even like paper signs, brochures, maps, all that type of stuff. Books. I love anything that's paper related. I do very, very, very well with that stuff.
Number 4, what is your favorite item to sell and your least favorite?
What is my favorite? Did you say what was my favorite thing to sell and what's my least favorite?
Your favorite and your least favorite, yeah.
My favorite is always going to be comics because that's my specialty area, and I just absolutely love them. And least favorite, well, I really try to enjoy everything that I put up, but I would say, I guess, least favorite may be clothes, just due to some of the measurements. But I don't really think the measurements are that bad. I mean, it just sometimes takes a little extra time to do that, but I don't mind it. It's just if anything's going to fall kind of towards a death pile for me, it may be more the clothes, although I've made a more concerted effort to put at least one clothing related item up a day, and I've been successful in doing that over the past few weeks. So just keeping the clothing thing going.
That's a good idea. I was just talking in my What Sold video last night. I have types of clothing, specifically women's shirts and dresses here in death piles. And I've made an agreement with myself to photograph 10 a week and get them up just to get through them.
Yeah.
And if you have to make agreements with yourself where you're doing 1 a day or 5 a week, just to get through your death piles, it's better. It's basically letting money just sit there.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And then it's funny, you realize, when you're doing this, when something sells that's been sitting around for a while, you say to yourself, wow, that was like $40 just sitting there. Like just up, So that kind of motivates you, if you think of it that way, to get more things listed.
That's how I sold a turtleneck sweater in the middle of the summer for like $30 that I paid 99 cents for, that had been sitting for 2 years.
Yeah. Right.
Mad at myself, let me tell you.
Right.
Number 5, what is your favorite place to source?
My favorite place to source by far would be estate sales. I absolutely love estate sales. I love the whole, it's the best way that I have to go do a treasure hunt. I was just watching Wade recently. He was on the Auction Professor show, and he was talking about, if you're at a storage unit, that's a great place to find treasure. And it is. Donna could definitely tell you that for sure. But, at least with the house, the thing I like about that is that you could walk around the house. You go down in the basement. You could go in cupboards. You could go in secret spots that other people haven't looked at. You could really employ like a lot of skills and strategies. And I love doing that. I love the competitive aspect to it. There's a line of people are signing up to get on a list, and, you're trying to see, could I get this stuff before somebody else? I like that whole aspect of it, and just finding stuff and discovering things that other people missed. It's a great place to buy things in big lots. It's a great way to get things that are vintage if you're going to older neighborhoods. So, it's basically like a mega garage sale. It's the best way to kind of think about it if people haven't done that before.
Yeah, and speaking of secret crannies, you can also stalk people. I recently followed a guy around an estate sale. He had a Doctor Who, a Klingon, Star Trek, and a Spider-Man, new and sealed shrink wrap Monopolies, 3 games. I followed him. He put them down and decided not to get them, and they're sitting here right now, and we're trying to decide. They'll go for $50 locally, but I think I'm going to keep the Doctor Who.
That's a good choice. And I love when people do that, when people put something down that has value and they just leave it there and walk away, and you're thinking to yourself, why did you just put that down and leave? And so you grab it and it's yours. That's a great feeling. I love that.
Yeah, and I will follow people if they have something I want. I will follow them all the way to the end.
Right.
See if they pay for it, because if they don't, I'm swooping in. I have no pride when it comes.
Hey, that's it's a good technique. You got to pull out all the stops there, Star.
Yeah. What is your favorite task or part of reselling, and then your least favorite?
My favorite part has to be the thrill of the hunt. That's my favorite part. I mean, literally my last video when I was I was so pumped up for this estate sale. I was just, the competitive juices were flowing. I couldn't wait to get in there. I was so excited. Actually, I didn't even know at the time, that it was going to be the best haul of the year. And I literally just felt like, let's get ready to rumble. I'm like yelling that into the camera. I was like so excited. So like, I don't do that when I list. I don't do that when I research. I certainly don't do that when I pack. So that's got to be the most exciting part. The least favorite would be packing. I'm good at shipping. I do a lot of shipping tip videos, but I try to make the most of that though by putting on other people's videos and just kind of multitasking. So I'm learning things as I'm doing a task that's kind of mundane.
Yeah, I have either YouTube or one of my shows streaming all day in the background. One, so I don't go crazy and start talking to Henry and Hannah.
Right.
But it's company, it's noise, and you can learn if you're watching other YouTubers. I'm a really good stalker on YouTuber as well. I watch like every video you put out. I watch a lot of people, and I'll just like pick one person and watch that person exclusively for like a whole day. But I never comment. I remember to like. I never
comment. That's true.
Well, and I'm like, you may think I'm not watching you, but I am. And sometimes don't tell YouTube this, but if it's someone like you or Justin or someone that's a friend like Casey or Sydney, sometimes I'll watch a video and then I replay it on mute and let all the ads run through to get you guys more revenue.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I don't comment, but I am stalking. I'm lurking. I'm there.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that myself sometimes, where I'll watch videos and not comment. But sometimes I try to. It just depends. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's more like because I just kind of put it on play all or whatever, and then I'm busy. I'm listing. I'm measuring. I'm taking photos. So the videos just when you push play all, they start on their own, kind of like when you're watching Netflix. I'm not going to stop in the middle of a video or a photographing session to go comment on one and then start the next one. I just let it play through,
Yeah, sometimes you mean to comment and then all of a sudden, right, like you said, it just went on to something else and you're like, all right, forget it,
Yeah. All right, number 7 is to share a bolo with us.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh, I have so many around here. I guess a common one that would be pretty cool would be these that I have right here, would be beer taps. And these ship very well. If you want to do this right, you've got to get eBay's 12 by 6 by 6 boxes because they fit perfectly in there. You can't put these in, like an envelope and expect them to not get damaged because a lot of them are ceramic and they'll crack. So if you get it in that 12 by 6 by 6 eBay box and then you bubble wrap it, it will get it just under, it'll be like 16 ounces or less, which is where you want to be for first class. If you put in a bigger box, it's going to be priority and then you're going to lose out on them. So you could, you want to get them for like a couple bucks a piece, and some of them will sell for like, you want to get ones that are like, worth 20 bucks or more. But there are some beer taps, depending on the rarity, that can sell for, hundreds of dollars. So you just gotta, do your research on them. But beer taps, very collectible. I'll tell you, when I had some leftover beer taps that were damaged from a big haul that I brought in Star, and I was just selling them in my garage sale. Every guy, I'm not even kidding, every single guy that came in the garage sale looked at those beer taps and they all sold.
Colton, someone's at our door. Sorry.
That's okay.
Someone's at our front door. I'll send my kid.
Something weird happened when we do a live show. If people want a little entertainment, they should go and see the first video that I did with you, Star, when I was on your channel, and you suddenly like left the screen, and then I was left to moderate your show for like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know if you remember that. Do you remember that?
I do. I feel like that was when Sorry, I'm getting distracted because somebody's at our door. Wasn't there a storm that night that knocked out my internet or something?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. It was some kind of technical glitch, but yeah, Mary's right. Mary's right. Mary's awesome. Mary knows things about my life that I don't even know, and she remembers that. That's right. There was it was a lot of rain that morning that we were having our garage sale, and fortunately it cleared up a bit, and we were able to pull it off. And then I had to take my son to a basketball tournament the next day, and my wife carried on from there and sold all the beer taps. So beer taps would be my bolo.
Beer taps are your bolo.
Yep.
I'm being a total amateur right now because I'm totally distracted.
You're a pro. Stop.
I have a kid. I should just send him a nut, but I'm like, who is it? What's going on?
You should send one of those hippos after him.
Yeah. And but yeah, the first time I had Dominic on here, my internet went out. He ended up hosting by himself. I've had videos where I've knocked my camera on the floor and y'all are looking at the ceiling while I'm yelling, wait a minute! I'm an amateur.
You know what's funny about that, Star? Like from a trivia question perspective, that's actually the first time that I'm on a YouTube channel live by myself was on your channel with no one else there because I wasn't doing any live shows at the time.
Yeah, I think that you hadn't. That was your very first live show.
No, it wasn't my first live show, but because I had done one with Wade. But it was the first time that I was actually on a live screen with no other person. That was on your channel, so you could tell people that if you want to. I don't know.
Well, you know, Justin from RVA Flips had never done a YouTube video, period. And I asked him to come on as a guest, and he liked it so much he started a channel, and he outgrew me.
Well, sometimes that stuff happens, you know.
Yeah, the master. What is that? The master surpasses I can't remember this expression.
The student, but you're not really the student, so.
Yeah, it's from karate, whatever it is. We're going to number 8. No-low. I want a no-low from you. A no-low is the opposite of a bolo. If you don't know, it's that something you should never source.
Oh. Okay, now some people are going to disagree with me on this. That's fine. I know a few. I'm actually not a few. I know one person that sold it successfully. When I see Avon products, I stay away from those things like the plague. They're so overproduced, and every time I check comps on them, they're not worth. They're just not worth it. They're not worth the investment in it, and they just bring such little return. I know there could be a few exceptions to it, but the vast majority of them I see are just junk. So I see Avon, I pretty much pass on it.
Yeah, I have a friend who does good with certain products, certain brands like Avon or Bath and Body. And then when I find them, I never find the good ones. You know, she's like, "Don't get those."
Yeah.
I never find the good ones, so I stay away from them unless. Sometimes I'll take a photo and send it to her.
Donna agrees on the Avon.
I used to sell Avon.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, no, but that's different, you know. But in terms of like reselling on eBay, I'm sure Donna finds a ton of Avon stuff in storage lockers. She's got to. I see it all the time at estate sales. It's just, and the thing is that's weird about it, Star, is that if you look at a lot of them are like these Avon cologne bottles. And they put them in these really cool looking bottles. Like they look, and it's really a thing that could trick new resellers. Is they'll go in, they'll see this cool looking bottle. It's shaped, for example, like a train, and it's really a cologne bottle or perfume bottle. And they'll think, oh, this is great, and they spend $5 on it, and then they take it home and they look the comps up and they see no one's buying them, or there's a million of them online. It's just the thing that, like you said, you were selling Avon. There's so many people who sold Avon, so it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
it's something you should comp before you buy it. There's a lot of things I'll take a risk on, especially, you know, our cost of goods is 99 cents for most of our items. So most stuff I will just take a chance with. But Avon, perfumes, things like that, I definitely always recommend, let me give you guys a real quick tip from me. If you're at a thrift, at an estate sale, at a garage sale, and you see something you might want, pick it up and act like you want it and go somewhere where you can quietly comp. But don't leave it, because I don't know how many times I've heard a story where somebody left it on the shelf, went to comp, and found out it was worth $100, go back and somebody else has taken it. If
Great
you
point.
think you might want it, grab it and act like you're going to take it. You can always comp it later and put it back.
Great point. I actually mentioned that in my last video when I went to that estate sale. The very first items that I picked up were 2 older New York license plates. They were matching. So I picked, even though they weren't, like, they didn't have a date on it that they were super old. I knew they were somewhat vintage, but because they were matching, I said, I'll pick it up. I put it in my box to take a look at. I comped them. They were only worth 20 bucks. They wanted 10. So I passed. But it's exactly what you said. You got to pick it up and put it away. Maybe you don't have even time to look at it right then and there. Put it to the side, look it up later. You don't want it, put it back.
Exactly. All right, so we have 2 more questions here. This
All
next
right.
one, number 9, is my absolute favorite to ask people.
Okay.
The old adage, do as I say and not as I do. Every single one of us resellers does something that we would advise other people not to do, or we're not doing that we would advise other people to do. So what's your guilty thing that you do that we all shouldn't, or vice versa?
I would say I have been guilty of sometimes not checking items over as thoroughly as I should have when I'm out at the scene, and then I wind up coming back and finding that a shirt had a hole in it, or here's okay. Just as a good example of how much this drives me crazy that I'll do this. Mrs. Primetime, my wife, a lot of people who follow me know all about her and everything. I'll have sourced an item, right? And I think it's great. I'll come home. Miss Primetime doesn't always go with me, so I'll come home. I'm excited to show her my finds. I'm like, look at this great. Like, for example, I'll say, look at this great beer tap that I found. You know, I comped this thing. It's worth like 50 bucks. And it'll say, the bottom of it has like a big crack going through it. Like instantly, like she just looked at it and instantly saw it. And I had looked this thing over for like a couple minutes and didn't even notice it. She does that all the time. Or like, you know, hey, that shirt, it has a rip right over there. I did not see it. Or it has a stain. And she finds it. And she's like a radar. So, yeah, I definitely make that mistake. I do tell people, and I do try to check it, but I'm sometimes guilty of not checking it over as good as I should.
I think we all are. Like on 99-cent day, I'll get excited and I just start throwing hundreds of pairs of booty shorts or jeans in the cart. And then I get home and 2 of them are blown out in the crotch. And I'm like, man, I know better. I've been doing this long enough, but I'm like really excited and I'm just grabbing them all because they're great brands and they're 99 cents and I want them all. I want to get as many as I can because we do volume. And it's that fear of missing out. Like someone else is going to get in. And I guess I should get all the ones I want and go somewhere and check them over. Yeah. But Keith only looks at electronics, men's shirts, and ties. I look at jeans, plush, women's shorts, men's jeans, shoes, and sometimes handbags. So you can imagine that by the time I'm done, he's like, oh my God, you are not standing here and looking at all 200 items you just picked out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Sorry, man, my house and my phone are like.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm like jinxing your channel a little bit here. I don't know.
Central, like no one ever calls me on Tuesdays. Even Keith's family knows it's like my YouTube. They know when I go live and not to call.
It's probably Casey.
It was his grandparents.
Casey's grandparents?
Keith's grandparents. No, Casey will purposely text me and call me during lives just to be a turd. But
okay.
I'm going to return the favor. Okay, the last serious question of the night. From me. I don't know what your questions are.
Okay.
What is just the best piece of advice you can give other sellers, whether they're new or seasoned?
It sounds very kind of overplayed, like everyone says this all the time, but it's so true. You really can't give up. You've got to keep battling. There are, like you said earlier, there are a lot of ups and downs, and there are down periods where, you know, could really test you. And you've gotta find a way to push through it, and you've got to find a way related to this is to continuously adjust. Things are always changing. I mean, just think about how just yesterday or 2 days ago, the shipping rates changed. The way everyone is supposed to, ship out large, light items. Now everyone's, trying to find ways to condense them more and more and more because priority shipping has adjusted the denominator for the cubic shipping rate. So You've got to continuously adjust your business. There's always changes. eBay is always making changes. The marketplace is always changing. What might be hot in one area is not necessarily hot, the next year. So you've got to be flexible. You got to be willing to adjust and not give up when you're having struggles, but find a way to come up with a new plan. If you're not hitting your goals, you got to continuously, reevaluate and, and adjust from there.
And absolutely, that's really great advice. You've always got to be adjusting, and you've always got to be double checking your goals. Casey says this a lot too, but I say it when I talk about bullet journaling. If you're consistently not meeting your goals, you've got to figure out one of two things. You're either wasting time somewhere and you got to figure out where, or you're setting your goals too high and too unattainable for yourself. And you need to readjust them so that you can actually accomplish them. Because not accomplishing your goals makes you feel like really bad about yourself. So you want to make sure you're setting things that you can reach so that you can feel accomplished and good. And then you can always reach for more. That's
absolutely true. I totally agree with you.
Okay, so now we're going to do some trivia.
All right.
And I have to tell you, getting your questions was so much fun. The first two are kind of bland, just trivia, but the other ones were fun. You guys in the chat, feel free to answer and play along. If Dominic gets stumped, you are his lifeline. He can look over there and cheat. All right, number one. What is the capital of New York?
Albany. Did you hear me?
Albany?
Yeah.
My people are blowing up my phone. That was my son. Okay, Albany. Yes, you are correct. What year was New York made a state?
Oh gosh. Man. What year was New York made a state? Oh God. All right, I'm gonna throw out 1850.
No, it's 1776.
See, I'm thinking of colonies, 1700s. But I'm like, wait, that's too early. So I went a little later than that. But
yeah, it was actually founded in 1650 something. I didn't write that down.
Yeah.
But it became an official state on July 9th, 1776.
Wow, that's okay. That's cool. Shouldn't know that.
Number three. This one's very special for you.
Okay.
Who was He-Man's arch nemesis?
Oh, Skeletor.
Yay! So this is number four. What did He-Man yell when he would hold his sword of power aloft?
I have the power!
You're close. That's not exactly it. He says, by the power of Grayskull!
I thought he says I have the power, too. Doesn't he say I have the power?
He says by the power of Grayskull, doesn't he?
No, he does. He does say that, but I thought he says I have the power. I don't know.
I think he says both, and we both have to remember.
I thought he says I have the power also.
Maybe he said both. I only remember by the power of Grayskull.
Yeah, no, he does say by the power of Grayskull. No, he does say I have the power. He does say I have the power.
So he says both.
Yeah, in fact, I'll bring it up right there on my phone right there. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. See? If zoom in on that, it says, I have the power. He-Man yelling that.
Oh.
See that? That's when he goes like this with it, and he says, I have the power.
Yeah, but when he holds it up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
True. When he holds it up, he says, by the power of Grayskull. That's true.
Either way, Donatella is correct, and we are nerds.
That's true.
Okay, so can you tell me what years did He-Man air on television?
Exact years. Let's see. I'm gonna say 1982 to 1985.
You're very close.
Okay.
1983 to 1985.
Ah, all right.
And I have a little bit of trivia with that for you. It debuted in September of 1983, ran until 1985. There were 2 seasons of 65 episodes each.
That's true, yep.
However, the reruns continued to air in syndication until 1988, at which point the USA Network bought the rights, and they aired He-Man until 1990, and it is currently available on Netflix.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have both seasons of them on DVD. I've watched a lot of them with my kids. I guess the only reason I was thinking 1982, and I should have thought this, but the first He-Man figures that came out were in that 1982 range. I know I have a lot of them stamped 1982.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they marketed a lot of our stuff from the 80s when we were kids, like ahead of time. Because I feel like I've had Smurfs that were older than the show.
Right.
I had a lot of Smurfs. I had glow-in-the-dark Legos you built Gargoyle's castle with.
Rusted Raccoon says, that's right. He says, but he says, I have the power after he says, by the power of Grayskull. So, I don't know. I'm hoping I get part credit on that one.
You can have all the credit. 1 million points. Did you ever watch Whose Line It Is Anyway when they just gave out like arbitrary points?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 1 million points. All right, number 6. Who was Marvel's first superhero?
Well, kind of depends what you consider a superhero. Because Human Torch was early on. There were some really early ones with Namor, and then there was Captain America. But Namor is kind of more of an anti-hero kind of character. I'm gonna, for the purposes of the superhero part, I'm gonna go with Captain America.
No.
No?
Your
Torch?
first instinct was correct.
Torch?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, because he was in Marvel Comics #1, but all right. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in. I always get a little bit of trivia to read to the crowd.
He's coming through the door in that comic cover.
Yep, he was in Marvel's Comics #1, dated October 1939.
Yep.
That it also included the anti-hero Namor. So.
Yeah. See, I should have said. At least I threw Human Torch in there somewhere, so that helped.
Yeah, your first instinct was absolutely right. All right, so who was Stan Lee's first superhero?
Spider-Man.
No.
No. Stan Lee's first superhero. Captain America?
No.
Oh man.
Anybody want to help him cheat?
Captain America.
I'm going to tell you, they want him and Jack Kirby as the artist launched this superhero team in 1961.
Oh my gosh. Fantastic Four.
Yes, yay! Yeah. And then he created Spider-Man, the X-Men, Hulk, and Thor.
Okay, but the only thing I'm gonna, didn't you say superhero though?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking of Fantastic Four. I always think of as like a group, but you're right. You're right. I should have said that.
Yeah, I mean they are a group, but it was his first comic.
Yeah, I should have at least mentioned that because that's true. I remember. Yeah, that is the first group.
I miss Stan Lee.
That's true. Yeah, that's sad.
I know. All right. So we did Marvel, we did Stan Lee, but what was DC Comics' first superhero?
Is this a trick question? Because a lot of people are going to say.
A lot of people are going to go with the very common misconception.
A lot of people are going to say Superman.
Right.
But there really was. If you go back, there were some earlier characters that they had that were their first, technically their first superhero. I think there was like a Phantom character as well, but I'm not. I'm blanking on his name, but I know it's a lesser known character that was before Batman. I'm sorry, before Superman.
I'll just give you the trivia that I copy pasted. It is a common misconception that Superman was the first superhero period, ever for anybody.
Right.
But it's not true.
Right.
In 1935 October, Dr. Occult, who was originally called Dr. Mystic, debuted. And then in November the next year, in 36, The Clock. And then Zatara debuted in the same issue as Superman in 1938 in June.
Yeah, Zatara is a female character. She's kind of like a magician, and she has this she's like this black hat and stuff. But But anyway, yeah. So I knew there were some like obscure characters before Superman, but everyone thinks it's Superman, but it really isn't.
All right. Can you name the actor who played the very first Doctor?
Oh, William Hartnell.
Yep. That was quick. All right. In the 10th trivia question, and you still have a bonus one from Keith, but my 10th one is, I have the top 10 Doctor Who villains here. I have them from number 10 to number 1. Some are from the original and some are from the reboot. And I went to 3 websites that generally agree these are the top 10, but they pull them from both. Can you name, or how many can you name? Let's see.
This includes the modern series as well?
Yes.
Just the classic.
The classic and the modern.
Okay. Geez. Well, we're definitely gonna have the Daleks.
They're number 1.
Yep. We're definitely gonna have the Cybermen. They've got to be in there.
Yep, they're number 3.
I would say they're probably gonna put in those gargoyle angel characters. The ones where if you blink that you turn into cement.
Weeping Angels.
Yeah, the Weeping Angels. So the angel characters are they in there too?
Yep.
Okay, so that would be 3. How many do I have to name?
As many as you can, and I'll just tell you the rest.
As many as I can. I would think that the Ice Warriors might be in there.
They are.
Okay. Let's see. Would the Yeti be in there?
No.
Okay. They're a little bit more obscure, so I could see how they're not in there. What about the Silurians or the Sea Devils?
The Sea Devils and the Silurians are both here.
Oh, wow. They both got in there. Okay.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
No, I got. Oh yeah. No, I got 6. I got Dalek, Cybermen, the Angels, the Weeping Angels, the Ice Warriors, the Sea Devils, and the Silurians. So that's 6.
Yeah, 7, 8.
So there's 4 more.
I guess I had 11.
Oh, you had 11. Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I run an amateur YouTube.
That's okay. They all have to be monsters, or could they be any villain?
They could be any villain.
Oh, well, what about like the Master? Like, would that count?
There you go. He's number 2, just before
All right.
Alex. Or she.
I'm gonna say the Master's on there. I'm gonna say maybe the Ronnie.
No.
She's like a female version of the Master, but she doesn't get the Mistress.
Nope. The Mistress is considered the Master because it's just.
Yeah, I hate that. That's true.
I love Missy. That actress is also in the reboot of the witch, Sabrina, the dark, chilling Sabrina Netflix series. It's like more adult.
Yeah.
She's the villain in that. She's great.
Okay, I'm gonna go maybe with the Zygons.
Yep.
Okay. So what do I got? 2 more or 3 more?
3 more because I don't know how to count to 10.
Okay. Man, let's see. 3 more. I'm gonna kick myself.
Do you want a clue?
Huh? Yeah, give me a clue on one of them.
The Klingons are Star Trek.
The Klingons are Star Trek.
You want a clue?
Yeah, the Klingons. I'm not saying the Klingons. Yeah, all right. Give me a clue so I don't give you dead air.
Shh.
Oh.
If we have any Doctor Who fans in the house, feel free to cheat in the chat.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah. What the heck was their name again? Go ahead.
Silence.
The silence. Yeah. See, I didn't like that. The silence. But anyway.
I did. I like that.
See, if I'm going to lose out on modern ones, I'll be happy with that. Is there any other classic series that are in there that I'm missing? Because that's going to bother me.
I think that these are in both. Kind of like the Daleks.
There are some dual ones. Oh, wait a minute. The Autons.
Yes.
Okay. So it was one more. One more.
Starts with an S.
Starts with an S. I don't know.
Sunterons.
Oh God! How did I not think of that? Right.
And you did really good though, like
Darn.
just off the cuff like that.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot the Suntarans though. They're cool. They're really cool.
All the people in the chat are like, "What are they talking about?"
Yeah. Someone said Superman. Kenny said Superman.
All right. So Keith's bonus trivia for you.
Yep.
Onslaught is a combination of what two characters?
Onslaught is a combination of what two characters? I have no idea.
Professor X and Magneto.
Oh, okay. All right.
Keith is a huge, just if anyone cared, he's a huge X-Men fan.
Okay.
Of all the characters, X-Men are his absolute favorite, and he loves Magneto. Mine's early, but
yeah, right. I'm like I like X-Men, but I'm not totally geeked out on them. That's the thing. I'd say like a moderate X-Men fan. I'm not like hardcore like I am like with Doctor Who. So I know some stuff, but I don't know I mean, someone who obviously follows X-Men is gonna think that was probably pretty easy, but I'm not super fluent with it.
Oh, Dan says he's sad he missed it. Dan's kind of a nerd too, Donatello. I think he would have enjoyed that, but he can watch the replay. We're going to jump on into the this or that. Now, the rules with this, Dominic.
Okay.
You have to pick one, so you can't say neither or both. And I want you to go with your first gut instinct. So answer, immediately with whatever you feel.
And I can't explain. I just have to answer.
You just have to answer. This is fast. This is like the lightning round.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Avengers or Justice League?
Justice League.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Doctor Who original or reboot?
Original all the way.
Countryside or city?
Country.
Estate sale or yard sale?
Estate sale.
Comic books or graphic novels?
Comic books.
Italian or Mexican food?
Italian all the way. Right, Donatella?
Thundercats or Transformers?
Thundercats.
Flip comics or collectibles?
Comics.
See, when you started answering the questions at the beginning, I'm like, oh, I already know he's going to answer some of these now. You said estates were your favorite and you love comic books, but
yeah.
Your bonus one from Keith is anime or manga?
Anime.
All right. Those are mine. So if you got your 5 for me ready.
Okay, now I have these broken down into, because there's 5 questions. So I have them broken down into 2 reselling questions and 3 kind of like, well, I guess 2 reselling questions, 1 kind of like more of a personal question, but it's kind of related to reselling, and then the other 2 are just kind of like sillier questions. So what do you want first?
Let's go serious to silly.
Okay, sure. All right. So the most serious one I have on here, Star, what is the next level for your reselling business? Like to bump it up like another notch, like where would you say would like take you, what do you see yourself, where do you see yourself going, with things either, and when I say reselling, that's broad. That can include social media. It can include what you're selling or how you're selling it.
So our first thing is that we need to get to a point where Keith can quit his job. Because him and I are who we are, we listen to Dave Ramsey. We're very safe people. So we are trying to save up 1 year's worth of all the money we need in a month. Not just our bills, but like we sat down, this is what we spend on entertainment. This is what we spend on eating out. This is what we need to run our business. These are our bills. Dave Ramsey suggests 6 months, but I guess we're just anal.
Yeah.
Everything we make on the business right now, all the profit either gets funneled back into new inventory or into this nest egg that we're building. We're very close. When we get to that and he can quit his job, then we will have 12 months of cushion in case anything bad happens, in case summer slow down or sales are bad or whatever, But that will give us 1 full year for us to both kick it up a notch. And with having him here full time, I will actually be rotating more into YouTube, social media, and Poshmark. He will be taking over the eBay and the Amazon and doing more of our phones and local sales and branching out into electronics and pallets of stuff.
Okay. Cool.
So we do the clothes. We peddle the clothes now to build up that nest egg. But once we have him here full time, it's gonna things are gonna definitely change.
That's great. By the way, I love your shirt, and I'm jealous.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh, great shirt. I bought it to flip, but I got it home, and darn it, if it didn't have a hole in it, and I had to keep it.
See? Yeah, see, that's something I would have missed and brought it home, and Miss Primetime would have seen it.
See, yeah, I missed it too, but I got to keep it, so.
All right. All right, so next one is, and I already kind of know one of them, I think, but I'll ask it anyway because I didn't want to say except, but which 3 resellers inspire you the most?
That I really feel like if I just pick 3, I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings.
No. Yeah, you told me I had to choose.
All right, I'm gonna go with Casey number 1 because those of you that know his story.
Safe one, right?
Casey lived out of his car for a while, and look where he's at now. So
yeah,
he's pretty inspiring.
Yeah.
Megan Mawini inspires the hell out of me. She has 2 small kids. Her husband's in the Army. He's deployed more than half of the time, leaving her there with 2 kids. And she started selling on eBay a year or 2 ago and makes 6 figures. Gross. But and she manages that with 2 infants and a husband gone. That Megan Mawini has always inspired me. And then third, I have to say third is a tie. And I know I'm cheating, but for different reasons. One of them is you. Because when I started watching you had like 10 followers, and you have grown into this 10,000 people Facebook group. You've built your life on nerd stuff. So one of them would be you, but you're tied with Sydney because she taught me everything about Poshmark, which is a whole different world than eBay. And if it weren't for Sydney and everything she's taught me, we wouldn't have this other stream of income.
Right. Well, I'll take that, being tied with Sydney and other people that you mentioned. I mean, they're of course awesome. So thanks, Star. I did not know that. I didn't say that for you to say that. I didn't.
No, but seriously, when I stumbled on you, you had like 5 or 10 subscribers, and I watched you for a long time, and I stalked you, and then I finally reached out to you or commented and said, "I love your videos. You're such a dork. I love your comics," or whatever I said to you. And then you just like blew up, and it's been amazing. And you also work a full-time job, like a serious PhD full-time job.
Yeah.
And still manage to do all of this. It's mind-blowing. You are pretty amazing. So
thanks, Star. So are you. I mean, your consistency is incredible. I mean, you like have a video up every day pretty much, which I was doing that for a while, but you know, I've kind of like I said, I've kind of restructured things, so I'm kind of taking a little bit of a different approach now. But yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, and I always make it a point to thank you because you were one of the first people to have me on a show, and I always say you always have to remember where you came from, and all those things, all those people that had me on and stuff early on, all helped out. In fact, you helped put me in touch with Casey. I mean, I had communicated with him back and forth, and I was talking to him before you reached out to him for me, but you were who got Casey to subscribe to me on YouTube. And he wouldn't have done that without that. And then we kind of developed more of a friendship after that. So I really appreciate all that you did.
I didn't even know that. You're welcome. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, I thanked him. I was super pumped up. I saw he subscribed, and I said, hey, thanks a lot. And he's like, yeah, I just got off a video chat with Star, and she was saying some nice things. And so he's like, so I went over and I subscribed. And so, you played a big role in that.
Well, thanks. I did not know. I do know that I talked about you before anyone knew who you were. I was pumping you up. You got to remember you're Jenny from the block. But I remember when you were Jenny from the block, and I would talk about you. I still talk about you all the time. I was just telling my kid about your comic book guy.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah.
all that stuff from. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if you saw in a couple of videos back, I mentioned that my relationship with that guy has changed. His store and his facility has all kind of been upended somewhat. And so I really cannot go there anymore to source like I used to. Now, I still have tons of stuff and I get a lot of stuff outside from him, but that was a huge honey hole for years. And one of the things I was telling people in the most recent video, or maybe it was 2 videos back actually, is I said, listen, and I knew this star when I was doing it. I said, you never know when this opportunity is going to dry up. This guy could have a heart attack. He could become disabled. He could close his business. He could move. You just never know what could happen. Or he could just change his whole business model. And sure enough, after a few years, that's what happened. And so kind of dried up. But I was going there religiously, consistently, getting as much as I possibly could. And thank God I did that, because now things have changed. I don't know if they'll ever go back, but for now they've changed, so
Yeah,
things
and that's one good instance to get a death pile. If you find one heck of a honey hole, create a death pile out of it. Because I mean, we lost ours. We came back from Vegas last year and it was closed. So
right. I mean, one way to, if you want a nice positive way to look at a death pile star, I would tell people, as long as you're going to get to it eventually, look at it as an investment, kind of like stocks that are sitting around for a while. And unlike most stocks, or not, I shouldn't say most stocks, but unlike some stocks that would, decrease in value over time, a lot of the stuff, especially if you have some experience that you wind up picking, they're generally not going to lose value. They'll at least maintain value. And likely if you're dealing with collectibles and vintage stuff, they're going to increase in value. Yeah. So, like the Legend of Zelda game that I sold today for $40 for Game Boy Advance, if I held on to that for another 2 years, it probably goes up a little bit. A few of them around. So.
There's a difference between the death piles and what I refer to as the I don't want us.
Yeah.
The I don't want us are the things you need to really tackle and either redonate or sell, because those are the ones that are bad. The I don't want us, because you don't want to, and you avoid them and you walk over them and you ignore them. But I build death piles on purpose because we have really bad winter weather here. So going into the fall, we start to build up for sure, because we get stuck in the house sometimes for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
All right, I know you have a couple more questions for me.
Yeah.
So whilst he asks me these final 3 questions, you guys can start putting your questions in the chat, whether they're for me, whether they're for him, whether they're trivia or about our businesses or reselling or whatever. Does Hippos taste good? I don't know.
All right. So we got 3 more. Okay. What is the one song you would turn to if you needed a motivational boost that would like pump you up and get you going?
So like a physical boost, like I need to get moving, not like an emotional boost.
No, emotional could be tied with the physical. Like you just, you need to kind of get yourself going, and music can do that for people. So I'm wondering which song would be the one you would pick.
I think you guys are gonna laugh at me.
Okay.
It's by Eminem.
That's right there. That's motivational stuff right there.
Yeah, you only get, what is the song called though? You only get one shot.
Yeah. I know the song.
To do it, lose it in the moment.
Lose yourself.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself. Yeah.
Lose
yourself. I can't remember the name of the song, but whenever I hear it, I get like, I think of his movie, and he's got an incredible story too.
He does. 8 Mile is an awesome movie.
Yeah, and I think about that, and I'm like, man, I can do it. But sometimes I like the theme from Rocky.
Which Rocky though?
The original, the Eye of the Tiger song. That song.
I love that one too, but there's another one that's really motivational, especially if you watch the actual collage that they put together for Rocky 4 when they did it. There's No Easy Way Out. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome song. I mean, that's a real motivational song.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yep.
There's a song by Cher. It's good for boosting yourself when you feel emotionally down. Because I know a lot of my viewers also have OCD or anxiety like me, or depression or bipolar. If you have any of those kind of afflictions and you feel sad, there's 2 songs that are really good for that. There's a song by Cher called You Haven't Seen the Last of Me. and it's about picking yourself back up and showing people what you can do.
Yep.
And then there's a song from Deadpool by Celine Dion, Out of Ashes.
Yeah.
And that song's about lifting your like a phoenix and rising. So I just want to throw those two out there too for people who need an emotional pick me up, something to make you feel good and feel like your broken heart maybe isn't broken, or your crazy mind isn't crazy. You know, sometimes music just makes you feel healed or better. Those are two great songs.
Absolutely. Yep. So yeah, that was cool. That was cool to get into that.
Yeah.
All right. Two more. Now this is only for the classic series of Doctor Who. You know, I had to ask you a Doctor Who question.
Yes,
Okay?
I'm not as familiar with the classic ones as you are, but I'll do my best.
No, it's not. It's not going to be like a fact question. It's more of an opinion preference question. So, which Doctor from the classic series would you most like to be a companion to, and why?
I can't remember his number, but the one with the scarf, is he 7?
Yep. Nope, that's number 4, Tom Baker. That's exactly who I would pick.
Because he's fun. He's
right.
He's got that scarf, and he's just like, the first one was like an old fuddy-duddy get off my lawn.
Yep.
And I've only seen a couple episodes of each of those. Like, I've religiously 12 times seen every episode of 10. He's my favorite. But yeah, the Tom Baker, he seemed out of the original crew the most childlike. That's probably why I like 10, because 11 was pretty wonderful, childlike too. But
you mean David Tennant?
10 was David Tennant. 11 was Matt.
David Tennant was the closest to Tom Baker in terms of the way he took up the role.
Then see, that's probably why I like Tom Baker so much, because in the new ones, number 10, David Tennant's my fave, and I like him as an actor. Period. He was a great villain in Jessica Jones, and he's in a new show on Amazon Prime off of Neil Gaiman's book. He plays the devil, a demon with an angel, and they have to save the Antichrist. I read the book, and I'm watching the show, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But you can just Google David Tennant.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but Tom Baker also, he was in one of the Sinbad movies before he took on the Doctor Who role, and he was a bad guy in that movie. It's funny. You should check that out. You'll see Tom Baker in there. In fact, some of the the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, was in one of the Sinbad movies as well. So there's a lot of Doctor Who people you could see in some of those Sinbad movies. I love those movies. Jason and the Argonauts and those kind of things are cool.
Yeah, I've seen all those when I was little. I just don't remember them. But I remember like the giant with the small people tying ropes on them. Yep.
Super cool. All right. Let's see. Last question. Okay. Now this one's going to be a Hippo question.
Okay.
Also comic related in a way. Why on earth, like, we've got Spider-Man, we've got Wolverine, we've got the Rhino. Why don't we have a Hippo superhero or villain?
Because I quit writing to do reselling. And that's why I haven't written it yet. I used to be a writer and published, but
there's an idea for you right there.
I can't draw. I need to find an artist. I would be a writer.
Right.
That is a good question, though. They even have a rhino.
Yeah, there's no hippo.
And I mean, they could go one of two ways. They could make it a villain, like a big, gray, mean hippo, or they could make a cutesy little pink hippo girl hero.
I didn't know if you had an opinion. I was thinking about it and trying to figure it out. I give you my opinion unless you have other answer you want to give to it.
No, you can answer. What's your answer?
I have a feeling that Disney forever tarnished the image of hippos in cartoon form or in animated form when they put them in ballerina outfits in Fantasia.
They were so cute.
I know, but that ruined them in terms of being a superhero or a villain character, because now everyone still thinks of them, because even though it's an old movie, it still gets replayed all the time for kids, and they're always seeing hippos as ballerinas.
Yeah, you know, and then it's not just Disney. It's, if you think about a lot of pop culture, Madagascar, the big pink one that danced.
Moto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the one in Lion Guard, Bosh T, he is super cute. He's made to look cute. I think now that I'm thinking about it, like they're just always made to, I think, be cute. Like even the Beanie Baby ones are super cute.
Right, which is hilarious because you and I have texted back and forth sometimes over these stories of people get absolutely mauled and destroyed by hippos. If you go, people don't realize how aggressive and violent hippos are. I mean, they really are. They'll even kill their own even their own kids, their own. I don't know, what do you call a hippo? A hippo calf, probably a calf, right?
They're calf, yeah. They kill more people every year than any other wild animal. They attack without provocation, so you could just be minding your own business, and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's a human. Let me go bite it in half." They don't need any provoking. They don't need. They will just, if they see something, they eat it.
Right.
They're mean, and like you said, they'll kill their own babies. The men will. I don't think the women do. I think it's the males, the bulls, that do it.
Yeah.
But they live together, though. They like to be in social colonies. They're called pods, which is why in case anybody's wondering, our reselling group that's called the Flipping Hippos Reseller Pod. That's why, because we're a group of hippos. Yeah, they live with like hundreds of other hippos, but they always fight with each other. Yeah. You can just Google hippo fighting and pull up thousands of images, and they'll have their big mouths open like this. Yeah. And they're just like lock jaws. I don't know what they do. Yeah. Yeah. But they're vicious. They'll chase you. They can run fast, even though they're fat. They're very mean. Very, very mean. But in the same token, they're very cute.
I love them. You know, I'm a big hippo fan, so.
Yeah, I love hippos. I just think they're interesting. They're interesting. And I followed Fiona since she was born. There's a new one in Dallas now at that zoo. I like to watch all the YouTube videos. And I do know a lot of really weird facts about hippos that most people don't.
You never know when it's going to come in useful, Star. You might win a trivia contest one day because of your hippo knowledge.
Rusty Raccoonus thinks there was a hippo in Marvel. Dark Reign, the Sinister Spider-Man #1 was his first appearance.
Who is it?
Rusty Raccoon says there was a hippo villain called...
Yeah, but what was his name?
I don't know. What was his name?
Yeah, I don't see a name.
Just what comic he was in. I don't remember him. And next to X-Men, Keith geeks out the most about Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man I'm pretty good in. I got a Spider-Man shirt on here. I mean, I'd say that was the one comic I read religiously, every version. I mean, Marvel Tales, Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web, everything. I read every Spider-Man I could get my hands on.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Nicole. Keith's the same way. He loves Spider-Man, X-Men, Goku. That's Dragon Ball Z, I think.
Yeah.
And then I like my Gotham villains and my Doctor Who. Yeah. But we pretty much cross. Like, he'll watch Gotham with me, and I'll watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with him. We go to all the Marvel and DC movies. And he does go to the horror movies with me. He tolerates that. Because I'm like a nerd who also really gets into my horror and Halloween. But you guys, if you have questions, throw them up. We've been on for over an hour, and I don't want to keep Dominic too long. I just see a lot of chat going on, not a lot of questions. What I like to tell people is if you remember a question later that you wanted to ask, you can always come back and put it in, and he or I can answer it. Or you can go in his Facebook group if it was for him, or on mine if it's for me, and ask away. I always remember things I want to ask after. Like, I'm like, oh, man, I should have asked something in the live chat. His name was Mrs. Fluffy Lumpkins. Are you pulling our leg?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Are you pulling our leg? Hi, Nicole. So I guess we're going to wrap up the show. Again, you guys, in the description box down below are the links to Dominic's YouTube channel, his Instagram, and his Facebook group. Please join, follow, and subscribe to him. Our Facebook group is down there as well. Please join that. Give the video a thumbs up. It will help the video be seen more so that more people can hear Dominic's expertise and his interview. And I guess subscribe, help feed hungry hippos, all that nonsense. My salesman closing pitch. I'm going to do it today. Dominic, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me as usual. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate it. And I know you were really busy, but you worked me in your schedule, so I appreciate that. And anyone that followed him here, thank you for coming in, and feel free to subscribe. And all my loyal followers, thank you for watching. You guys are what makes the channel a channel. Without you guys, we'd be nothing. So thank you so much. Dominic, I have to get up and walk over here to turn the live show off. So I'm going to do that and leave you to say goodbye to the folks. Any last words of wisdom? And when you're ready for me to turn it off live, just say bye so I know.
Okay, well, yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming over today. I really appreciate it. It was a fun time. Just getting to do, you know, partly serious and partly lighthearted interview, and to do some of the trivia questions. I love trivia, so that was a good time. And thank you, you know, Mary, for the compliments on the Count Chocula shirt. Like I said, I do have a Blueberry one that I have not worn yet, because it really looks ridiculous, but I probably will just wear it for you on one of the upcoming videos, Mary. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for the Blueberry shirt, and I've got to get a Frankenberry one. And the other one was Yummy Mummy, but I've never seen a Yummy Mummy shirt. So thanks everyone for coming by, and I'll see you at the next video. I've got a live show tomorrow night with a thrift battle, so hopefully I'll see some of you over there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Thanks everyone. Bye.